Italian name, Padovani. We got to stick with that. I've been a priest now for 57 years. That's a long time in the priesthood, and I've done counseling for over 50. And I'm not doing full time anymore, not right now, but I'm also trying to do something on YouTube and all these other gadgets we have out here in the world to reach people. I think I have a lot to offer to you after over 50 years with counseling and 58 years as a priest. So I hope you can find me and listen to me. I know I can help you because I have heard everything. And I think this is what we need to realize. And we have to, above all, as Christians and Catholics, we got to get our religion to where people can understand it and the scriptures too, because people, after all these years, still don't understand the basic teaching of the Catholic Church, the basic teaching of Christ. How did I ever get into being a psychologist besides a priest? I realized after 5 years of being a priest, hearing confessions, trying to counsel people, I had a certain knack for listening to people, but I realized something was missing, that whole understanding of the human person and what makes that human person tick. And really, when we look at it, the spiritual and emotional, psychological, it's all together. I don't see Christ as just a spiritual teacher, he was a psychological teacher. His teaching and when we read the Gospels, they're full of psychological as well as spiritual ideas. So with me, it's always going to be together when we talk about these things. So I hope that you'll get a lot out of this. One of the reasons I went into this field was I realized after 5, 6 years of hearing confessions and talking to people that people had so many problems, so many human issues, that I really needed to get some psychological background and understanding. And I found out after 5, 10 years of counseling, and it was spiritual and psychological teaching, counseling together. I don't make a distinction, spiritual counseling, psychological counseling. For me, they both run together. And when you read the New Testament especially, as well as the whole Bible, you'll just find out it's not only a spiritual book about God and the kingdom and all of that. It is about psychological. It's about the human person. And this is the way I found a lot of help with people. Not only with the counseling, I did marriage, family, individual counseling, but also in the confessional. I realized I could get to the heart of the problem because of the background that was there. And that made such a difference. It's the same with my homilies on Sunday. I was able to reach the people because I was enmeshed and overwhelmed with human problems every day in the counseling. And this is the way I was able to make the message of Jesus Christ relevant for them today. I hope as you listen to me in the coming weeks and months that you'll find the same help that so many of my clients did. It's impossible to reach all the people that have called to me for help. I really am disappointed that we don't have more priest psychologists in the church today, because you cannot really sit in that confessional and just look for the spiritual aspects. You've got to take that person, the whole person, the psychological, the emotional, the whole person together, and that's where it's successful. Because so many of these issues that come up are that when people are talking about a sin or a breakdown or whatever it is, it's rooted also in psychological issues. I can absolve the person, I can reassure the person, but so many times I have to also tell them, you need some counseling. You're welcome to see me or somebody else. And of course, I developed a tremendous amount of clients. The same thing with my Sunday homilies, that they were the gospel, but it was a spiritual and emotional, psychological blending. And this really reached the people. And this is another way that I got so many people to want to see me. At one time in the height of my career, I had a 5-6 month waiting list. That was crazy. How was I ever going to get to all those people? Well, I did the best I could with it, but I think it showed the fact that something was missing in the Catholic priesthood, that we did not have enough priests trained in this. And I had a fight to get into this because my superiors felt, well, that's not our job to be doing counseling. Well, what is our job as priests? We're supposed to be like Christ, and Christ dealt with the whole person. And after some rigmarole and fighting and finagling, I managed to get into full-time counseling as a priest. And to this day, I thank the Holy Spirit for guiding me there and giving me the courage to fight my way in. Sure, later years, people said, "Oh, Marty, this is great. This is what we should have more priests doing." Yeah, well, I hope they don't have to go through the battle I went in to get into this work. It's been extremely successful in reaching the whole person. And it just fits into everything we have as Christians, all our sacraments, everything there is. It just makes the whole aspect of reaching the human person in a whole way. We are not human on one side and psychological on one side and spiritual on the other. It's all together. And when you read the scriptures, you'll realize that, not only in Jesus' teaching and what Paul says, but also in the whole of the Bible. How many times God is described as happy, angry, joyful, blessing, asking for adoration and asking for gratitude? I mean, that's a human God. And doesn't it say that we are created in the image and likeness of God? And if we're in the image and likeness of God, then God also has these human qualities in one form or another, and how he is able to kind of connect with us. So I just want you to realize with this little bit of a tidbit that I'm giving you today, that a lot of the messages I'm going to give you, all of them, are going to pertain to you. We all need help and healing and understanding. The biggest problem I see in the Catholic Church today and in Christianity is really the misunderstanding, the ignorance, the lack of a good understanding of Christ, our teacher, as not only a theologian, but he's a psychologist. Thank you very much.